Might as well. Make sure. Okay, I have the stream delay on. Nope, the game is live.
Is the stream on?
It should be, but there's a 2-minute delay.
Well, it is what it is. Well, I'm looking at the game right now, and there's certainly a very interesting team from qsns. Interesting Gudra H pick. It,
Oh,
we will see how this unravels. Meanwhile, Crying has an Ortworm, definitely an Ursa Luna counter.
this is actually a
Well,
pretty cool matchup.
Ortworm versus Gudra H is an interesting matchup that it seems, well, in a head-to-head, Ortworm would be good, I think, since it should have press, but either way, it looks like a fairly stable matchup for both sides.
I think the cleaver might struggle a little bit here.
Yeah, I don't think the Cleaver will really get much value, especially into this lead. Well, it will, in the sense that it's gonna smack the Flutter main, but
Maybe if it's Scarf or something. We're not gonna find out though.
QSNS opts to not fake out the Iron
Let me
Hands
make sure.
instead
Okay,
of
I have
Flutter
the
main
stream delay on.
trying to double target it, probably.
Okay, I confirm the stream is live, so um, people can't see it. That's good.
Interesting turn for Crying. Flutter main is likely at the threat of lethal here. And yeah, opts to switch it out, goes into
Game
Among
is
Us to
live.
preserve the Flare main, while keeping a good position all around. Cleaver gets Stealth Rocks up relatively safely. Heavy Slam from the Iron Hands to deal as much chip damage to Cleaver as possible.
That's pretty good damage, yeah.
Zapdos on the field to threaten the Among Us. And yeah, QSNS right now, I'd say, is on the driver's seat, even goes to Flutter Main to block the Drain Punch, or yeah, to block the Drain Punch, prevent it from being a problem.
Yeah, Crying's definitely on the back foot on this turn.
Flutter Main here kind of goes hard. Iron Hands is threatening to Terra Steel right now to avoid the hands already killed.
Oh, you're cutting out a little bit. Cutting out a little bit. This could probably be something like Specs Flutter threatening the knockout pretty heavily on hand. So yeah, the steal wouldn't
I'm
surprise me.
I'm pretty sure Iron Hands can live a dazzle that without Terra at least. And Among Us also does prevent the moon. QSNS playing it safe, goes back to Rilla, and the heavy Flare main who switched into Rillaboom. Rillaboom takes that quite reliably. This Ortworm right now is in an interesting position. It's threatened by Thunderbolt, possible Heat Wave from the Zapdos, and it looks like it doesn't really do anything in this position, though at the same time it doesn't really do anything else in the broader context of this game aside from being a fairy resist for Fluttermane.
Yeah, it's quite neutral right now.
Crying will probably just try to get as much value as they can from this Earthworm by trying to do something against Rillaboom or trying to force a
Oh,
Shed
and there
Tail,
it
and it
goes.
dies. It just dies. Drain Punch does absolutely nothing to the Rillaboom.
And that's quite good for QSNS, just to get
I'm
it out
pretty
of the
sure
way.
that Rillaboom ended up with more HP because of Citrus plus Grassy Terrain.
There's another miss from the Hurricane. That doesn't help anything.
That probably does nothing if we're gonna be honest.
Maybe like 20 or so.
Yeah, this Iron Hands is so obviously AV.
Yeah. Yeah, that's got it. Yeah, definitely an
I
AV
mean,
set.
it's for attacks. Come on, it can't be
Yeah,
anything
of
else really.
course.
This Cleaver is probably gonna die, so qsns gets a safe switch into
You
somebody
think that's a scarf
with
set?
the what? The Cleaver?
Yeah.
No, it changed moves earlier.
Oh, okay. I missed that. Sorry.
Zapdos roosts up, and Gudra comes in on the field. The Steel type coming in on the notoriously strong fighting type. This is likely going to be a Terra from QSNS's side. And the Terra will likely be removing that fighting weakness. Possibly Ghost
I think
to.
Ghost would be really good.
Yeah, it's also applicable in a broader metagame standpoint, considering it also makes it immune to Facade, even though Steel already does take Facade relatively well. Its Steel is also weak to ground. So Ghost would remove that ground weakness while still making it good into normal type attacks from Ursaluna.
Oh, water.
Instead goes to water, helping hand, acid armor from the Gudra, drain punch heals the Gudra because that did absolutely nothing. This is a really pressing matter for crying, if you know what I mean.
Oh, come on. Looks somewhat difficult to remove.
Yeah, this Gudra is also definitely heavy slam body press too, so Flutter Mane isn't an answer.
And it looks kind of hard to
Flutter
switch
Mane
into
also isn't an
now.
answer. Yeah. Gudra also has more billion special defense, so this Flutter Mane is not doing anything. I think Crying's best answer is literally to just crit with a Thunder Punch. Amoonguss isn't doing anything to this Gudra. It can't even spore the Gudra because Gudra has
The
Sap
Sap
Sipper.
Sipper,
It's
yeah.
just an attack boost.
And you don't want to give it that, so it's dead weight on the field right now.
Yeah. This game is really, really looking like to be in QSNS's favor. Pollen Puff the Rillaboom does a good amount.
Does a solid 0 to
Yeah.
Cress.
You turn on the Cresselia. Heatran on Cresselia Among Us, that's definitely not a good look for crying. As this Heatran threatens Among Us, which is the one thing stopping a clean Gudra sweep in the sense that it's like the only healthy resist at this point to body press. Well, Flutter Mane is technically an immunity, but it dies to heavy slam.
And there goes the Amoonguss.
Yep.
Setting up Trick Room again. Probably the Bears coming in. Yeah.
Cry needs to wait one more turn before Guts goes online. Lord of Flame opts to protect it to get that Flame Orb safe. Lunar Blessing and Gudra getting
Great switch and
another defense
Iron
boost.
Defense
It's now
there.
+6. Yeah. I mean, it was relatively safe anyway, but
Yeah.
this Gudra now has 1 million defense points. How much does this do? It
Ooh.
does not even do half.
Goodbye,
Helping
Bear.
Hand, Guts boosted
Oh,
Facade.
wow. 46 to
46. I don't know if I should be impressed or
Terrified.
disappointed. I don't know. What the fuck was that? It did. I mean, Gudra had +6, and it still did 46.
Well,
Like,
with helping hands, so
well, helping hand. But that's still a lot. Yeah, this Gudra also getting passive recovery from the leftovers plus grassy terrain. QSNS definitely cooked up something.
that's a very, very impressive victory here. I think very well played.
Very, very well played from QSNS. Iron Hands doing nothing.
It's gonna be game
And
one
that's
wrapped up.
GG's exchanged from both sides, and that's the game done.
Now we wait for game two.
Yeah. The Ortworm pick, I don't know about that. Well, it's unfortunate that QSNS did not bring an Ursaluna, which really, really made Ortworm useless, considering it didn't really even do anything in this game. It was
Imagine an
really hard for it to
Ursaluna.
get value.
Imagine an Ursaluna in the Cleavor slot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well,
Well, QSNS doesn't have Trick Room, but
oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah,
I'm pretty sure Flutter Main has Trick Room access, but who the fuck runs that? Like, I don't know. It could be good though. If we flip the slots around, maybe replace Zapdos with somebody else, like a Cress or something, I don't know. But Zapdos is probably integral to the team's certain matchups, which elude me right now.
Let's see what I could cover.
Gudra definitely also makes it a good answer to Palafin, and the high speed F is really, really, really makes it hard to break.
Oh,
QSNS
here's
really
game
cooked up
two.
something here. Yeah, game two
Oh, we
it's
have a
up.
very offensive game, and Cleavor again from
Cle-
QSNS. They're
Cleaver
really
again.
on the sauce today.
Chen Pao D Knight. Well, that's kind of
And a Sandy Shocks.
Sandy Shocks. I'm, but well, regardless of what I think about that, crying bot. What would you call this? Ground spam with Chiyu and Prankster Tailwind. QSNS bringing Prankster with Sword of Ruin D Knight. Both pretty much look both teams look pretty much the same actually. But Crying has the edge in that Dare and DD does piss off QSNS's D Knight a little bit, giving it only two viable targets in Landorus Eye and Tornadus. Crying if they are cognizant of the fact that Psychic Terrain blocks only for grounded Pokemon, they can probably do a Terra on their Landorus Eye to prevent it from getting E-speeded somewhere along the way, which could really end up being tragic for QSNS. Bad position for QSNS in the sense that
Ooh, yeah, that's a bit rough.
it's not as if QSNS had anything else to lead anyway. If any, this Cleaver is probably Focus Sash. Crying has to respect that, probably. Or at least they should, because this Cleaver would pop the Chiyu instantly, like 0 to 100 with a Stone Axe. But the fact of the matter is, Chiyu is naturally faster than people. Uh, First move of advantage. Two sides having Prankster Tailwind, which effectively neutralizes each other's speed advantage.
Yeah, they do
Opts to go
respect
in a
it.
Flutter Main, Icy Wind under Tornadoes from crying. Reduce Stone Axe does above half.
It does a little bit less damage than I would have expected, to be completely honest.
Yeah, but it's a Flutter main, and everybody's Flutter main is bulky as hell. Both sides opting not to Tailwind. That's probably the smart decision if we're gonna be honest. Uh, to essentially get one more turn of Tailwind above the other. Both
Yeah, and there
sides
it
opting
is.
to Tailwind now. Shadow Ball does absolutely nothing. What the
Ooh,
hell? I'm pretty sure that still dies if we're gonna be real.
yeah.
But Shadow Ball not even doing around 50, not even doing 50 is surprising. Is that AV?
I would suspect it is. I know QSNS likes Vest Cleaver, so just a little bit of like inside info. So
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what I would
looking at
suspect.
yeah choice specs of Flutter main versus non-AV Cleaver does around it does around 90.
Yeah, that's got to be Vest then.
Yeah,
I think
it's
bulky
likely
specs
Vest
makes.
versus non-specs.
Okay. If it's not specs, then what is it, like Pixie Plate then? Or
I don't know. Probably Pixie Plate if we're gonna be honest. Well, Crying doesn't really need specs because they have Chiyu.
right?
And this Flutter main does now have lethal on Cleaver thanks to Beads of Ruin, reducing its special defense. Yeah, special defense. So if it did 42 without Beads of Ruin, it's basically doing more like quick maths. Ops to switch out into Indeedee to activate Psychic Surge. Cleaver gets popped. Terrifier committed on Chiyu. That's an interesting committal of the Terrifier. It didn't feel necessary that
It didn't.
turn.
No, it didn't feel necessary at all.
I'm not sure if Tornadus even dies.
I don't think it would. Um, it's probably like a throat chop Chin Pao.
Yeah. Well, this Chen Pao is not threatening Crying at all
No,
because Crying has Indeedee. And Indeedee is basically threatening to follow me to keep the Chiyu safe.
it just
And
depends
the
if QSNS is gonna prioritize like getting rid of the redirection or getting rid of the
interesting switch
Okay,
from
yeah.
Crying. I'm not sure why they did that.
Ooh,
Heatwave looked Omega free from my perspective.
no, you're absolutely right. I don't understand that switch.
What what were they trying to keep you safe from? I have no idea. Did that indeed try the trick room? It probably did, didn't it?
Ooh, that's possible. Yeah.
Because that's the only move that made sense, if we're gonna be honest. It's it didn't helping hand, it didn't FM. What else would it do? Because psychic is not making a difference here. It's not worth it over FM plus heatwave.
Yeah,
So yeah,
this game is locked up for QSNS now.
yeah, it's
Set
very
Tailwind
much
again,
over.
and it's over.
Yeah,
Switch out
QSN still has
main again.
Prankster Tailwind. This Chen Pao is popping someone Ice Spinner on the Sandy
Yeah,
Shocks. The
every
Sandy
turn
Shocks
it's
just
taking a
drops.
kill.
Sanseer Storm does. It doesn't even Oko the Chen Pao. That's kind of sad. Well, this Chen Pao is probably Sash anyway.
And there's a
And that's
series.
GG's. That's the series for QSNS.
Great play by them.
Taking it 2-0 over Crying. Yeah.
really interesting team in the first game, and just great play on the second, and great play on the
Yeah,
first too. Not too, you know.
yeah,
All right. Thanks for
that's pretty
casting.
much, yeah. GG's.
GG's,
Thanks for
and
having me, man.
sure. And thanks for everybody for watching. See you later.